It got so much worse, and then I also had work earlier.
I live in Smethwick, Birmingham. If you want the fucking brawl, come down Smethwick Hospitality. I'll come out my house and I'll break your fucking legs. You know,
You know what I've been thinking lately? This game's fucking trash. The graphics are outdated, the combat system's broken.
But that quickly turned into a, I think it was like 4 hours, 4 or 5. And that was a bit of a wig out.
And the gameplay mechanics are fucking terrible.
But that quickly turned into a,
I wish there was something similar but also like 10 times better than this garbage. Now this is what I'm talking about. This game, Death to Spies, came out in 2007 and was developed by Haggard Games, a developer I can guarantee neither you or I have ever heard of before. And that's because they only made 3 games. That's right, 3, count 'em, 1, 2, Death to Spies, Moment of Truth, and you can probably guess what the last one at least starts with. That's right, Super Smash. Or as I like to say, summarizing all 3 games as Pixel Hitman.
Now, you, sir, have no business being in my...
And yes, I know it's a bit unfair to be comparing a 2018 game to a 2007 game, but I will try my hardest to take into consideration how these games would have performed for their time. Now, despite me giving this game a little bit of shit to begin with, I am being honest when I say it has quickly become one of my favorite games in the past week or two. When looking at this game on surface level, it is easy to quickly dismiss it, as the graphics obviously look like a 2012 Minecraft world that your brother made. However, despite this and a few other things I will cover later, this game's pros definitely outweigh its cons. I would go as far to even say that it could have been a close rival to the Hitman franchise if it was still being made today and was able to keep up with the technological advancements. When first launching the game, I ran into a couple bugs. At first, the game volume is at the same, if not more decibel units than the fucking CSGO menu screen. However, this is obviously not a bug, and I'm just being a bit picky considering I still play CSGO. The first real bug that most players run into is not even in the first mission, but in the training. The camera angle would constantly shift and would never be directly behind the player. A lot of the time this would just get worse and worse to the point where I was taking on enemies either sideways or backwards. Another bug that developers added in that seems to go hand in hand with the camera angle bug is the fact that your character can easily get stuck in the level or on solid objects, which makes moving even harder than it was before, believe it or not. And I managed to find the best bug in the game. I'm going to coin this bug as the Matrix jump because I've never seen any cunt in my life jump as slow as you can in this game. It literally slows you down not only when you're jumping up, but also on the fall back down because apparently gravity doesn't work when you jump. I don't. However, all of these bugs can be fixed in under 3 seconds by going back to the main menu, going into settings, video, and turning that sync shit on. So you can say that in its release form, the game is broken and buggy, but it was 2007 and you can fix these bugs quite easily and quite quickly, so I will try my hardest not to hold them against this game. What truly sets this game apart from, say, the Hitman series for me, is the intricacies in terms of combat and uniform. Not only in the game can you be detected for wearing an opposing power's clothing, but you can also be detected by carrying an opposing power's weaponry and/or backpack. Despite Hitman also having these features, Death to Spies does this in a better way in my opinion. Another interesting and amazing detail that they added into this game is the fact that you cannot disguise as a person you have killed if you have shot them at all in the body because their clothing is stained. The best ways to kill enemies in this game includes headshots, fiber wire, stabbing them from behind, and... what does that say? Chloroform? Yes, this game has fucking chloroform, which honestly acts no different to walking up behind an enemy and stunning instead of killing, except for the fact that chloroform is more silent than a stun. And yes, most of the modern Hitman games have way more options in terms of killing and assassination methods. However, looking back at Hitman Blood Money, which was released in 2006, you can see that the games are pretty similar in terms of quality. Death to Spies, for me, at least feels a lot more natural in terms of plot and reasonable weaponry and less forced and over the top. And by that I mean you're just getting dropped into a random massive map that looks visually stunning, but what's the point? I have no idea why I'm here in the first place. I have over the top weapons which I should not need as a true assassin, and the plot had lost me ages ago. I honestly could not care less. At least in Death to Spies, the plot surrounds World War II and the Russian spying effort against the German army, which is a well-known thing and not fiction. This subject is also much easier to relate to and understand as a player when the weaponry is more realistic. The last thing I want to talk about is difficulty settings. Hitman and Hitman 2 both have the same difficulty settings of casual, professional, and master. However, Death to Spies has easy, normal, hard, and expert. In Hitman, most people can still win the game on the second difficulty of professional, but in Death to Spies, fucking nope. Normal is so fucking difficult, which confused me because I was doing better at the game before I fixed all of the aforementioned bugs. I don't want to say that Hitman is too easy because I know Master isn't, but Death to Spies is on another level. Obviously, I don't want this whole video to just be me shitting on the Hitman franchise because honestly, I've loved all of the Hitman games I've played. I definitely think that Hitman games have a bigger and better team working on it than Death to Spies ever did. And this shows in how polished the Hitman games are, even back in the Blood Money days. I think overall, Hitman is definitely a more polished and refined game than Death to Spies. However, for its time, Death to Spies was definitely a solid game that is engaging, has many intricate details that you won't notice even after like an hour of playing, and in a certain sense is realistic. I love both of these games in their own way, and it is a shame that I'll probably only be getting Hitman games and no more Death to Spy games. There's 3 games and I haven't even finished the first one yet, so...